Hello, I'm Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice, and today I am playing a game called Mystic Vale. Now, I've had this game for a while. I've played it a few times. I enjoy it, but I'm pretty excited because just recently they came out with this expansion, which is called Nemesis, and it allows you to play this as a solo game. So I've played the game a few times, like I said, but it's been a while, so I might be a little rusty on some of the rules, but I've tried to refresh my memory on the rules. And I am playing it for the first time with the Nemesis concept. So this is my first time doing it as a solo game. So just figured I would make a recording of this. You can watch and follow along with me as I play. If you're not familiar with Mystic Vale, I'll try to explain some things as I go so you can familiarize yourself with the game. And maybe you've played Mystic Vale, but you haven't seen the Nemesis expansion, so I'll try and explain how that works as well as I play it. So anyhow, we'll go to the desk over here and get started. Alright, so I have the game set up here. This is a sort of a deck building game, but it's called a card crafting game because rather than adding cards to your deck, you are actually adding elements called advancements to the cards that are already in your deck. So you start out with 20 cards in your deck. You're not going to add any new cards to your deck or take any cards out of your deck. You're just going to add these advancements to your deck. The object of the game is to have the most points at the end of the game. Points are represented by these point tokens here. You start out with a certain number counted out based on the number of players. In a solo game, you have 23 to start with, and once these are depleted, the game will end. You can also get points from the advancements that you get. For example, this advancement right here, it has this little symbol with a 1 in it. That's 1 point. So if this is on one of my cards at the end of the game, that will be worth a point. Also, there's these Vale cards you can purchase. These do not augment the cards in your deck. They don't go into your deck. They just sit off to the side. But they are worth points at the end of the game sometimes. Like, for example, this one is worth 2 points at the end of the game. So that's basically what you're doing. You're trying to augment the cards in your deck to make them more effective and perhaps worth points at the end of the game. You're trying to maybe buy some of these Vale cards because they can be worth points at the end of the game. You're playing until you run out of tokens here, and then whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. In the Nemesis expansion, you add this board over here, and you add a Nemesis card to your deck, which I have already done. The board over here basically determines what the AI opponent does at the end of each of your turns. And what they do is they basically claim cards from the board, either advancement cards or Vale cards, and or they take tokens from the supply. And those will go over here in like their own scoring area, and at the end of the game they're going to get points in much the same way that the player gets points. And so I'm just trying to get more points than the Nemesis at the end of the game. I'm using the totem cards, which came in the I think the Mana Storm expansion, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm using the amulets. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. The totem cards come in the Conclave expansion, and the amulets came in the Mana Storm expansion. So I'm using both of those optional elements, and I'm also using the leaders, which were introduced in, I believe, the Vale of the Wild expansion, and have been used in pretty much every expansion ever since. And they do recommend, if you're playing the solitaire version of the game, that you use the leaders because they sort of offset the challenge of the Nemesis. So we'll get started right away. I have these cards here. This is called my field. Basically what happens is at the beginning of the game and at the end of each of your turns, you're going to take some cards off of your deck and lay them out like this to create your field, and the number of cards is basically determined by these decay symbols. So we have these decay symbols. It's like a little red circle with a withered tree in it, and you have those decay symbols on 9 of the cards in your deck. And so As you can see, I have 2 showing in my field, and I have 1 more on this top card of my deck. So as soon as you have 3 showing, then you stop adding to your field. So you add cards from the top of your deck to your field until you have 3 of those decay symbols showing. So the first thing I can do is I can push by taking a card from the top of my deck, adding it to my field, and flipping over the next card. And I can do that as many times as I want until I have 4 of these decay symbols showing, in which case I spoil and I will lose the rest of my turn. So I can push in order to be able to do a little bit more on my turn, or I can just say I'm satisfied with what I have and work with what I've got. So at this point I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I'm satisfied with what I have, and we'll just work with what we've got, because I have here 3 of these blue symbols, which you can see there. This is called a mana symbol, so I have 3 of them, and I get another 2 from the totem that I'm using. So I have a total of 5 mana, and it's important to have that mana because the mana is spent to buy the advancement cards. So the cost of an advancement card is right here in this spot. You have a little mana token with a number in it, and that's how much mana that advancement costs. So I'm going to start by buying some advancements. I can buy up to 2, and since I have 5 mana, where shall I begin? I'm not terribly interested in any of these, which are the level 1 advancements, or the cheaper advancements. And I would like to get either of these. However, I would really like to put them on a card that's not in my field, and that's what you have to do when you buy an advancement. It has to go on a card in your field. So I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a couple of these. These are called fertile soil cards, and they're basically, they cost 2 points each, and they just add more mana to your deck. So I'm going to buy 2 of those. You can buy at most 2 advancements. Each of these costs 2 mana, which I have 5, so I can cover that cost. And now I can add these to some of the cards in my field. I can add them to any card in my field. I'm going to go ahead and add them to these cards that already have 1 mana and a decay symbol. So I'll do that. Actually, I think this one, I'll go ahead and I'll add it to this card. All right. So I do that. I don't have any spirit symbols, which is what you need to buy Vale cards, so I can ignore that. And I didn't have any other abilities on my cards in my field that would trigger anything like that, so I'm just going to discard those cards off to the side, and going to go ahead and prep for my next turn. So this card comes out here, this card comes out there. Oh, there's our leader. Here's another card. Okay, we have our second decay symbol. And there's our 3rd decay symbol. Okay, so that's our field for our next turn. After that prep phase, then the Nemesis needs to go. So first we move this little token. We have like an hourglass token over here on the Nemesis board. It moves up to the next spot on that board, and then that spot tells us what the Nemesis does. So the Nemesis is just going to claim this advancement here. We'll put that in their score pile. All right. Okay, then it's back to us. So now we have the option, we can stick with the field we have, or we can push. Now my leader came out. My leader's ability is, once this turn, if you were to spoil, you may discard your on-deck card instead. I think this would be a good time possibly to do that, and I forgot to replenish that card right there. There we go. Okay, yeah, I think now would be a good time to do that, take advantage of that. So let's see, we already have 4 mana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got the 2 over here. All right, so we have 6 mana. That's pretty good. So the question is, do I actually want to push? What will pushing do? It'll get me through my deck faster, which means I can get back around to some cards that that I've already upgraded. It could possibly mean more mana in my field as well. Like right away, if I push, I'd go from 6 to 7. Well, I might as well do it at least once, right? So let's do that. Flip this over. All right, see, there we go. So our Nemesis just came up in the deck. He has 1 decay token, so I would spoil, but my leader says once this turn, if you were to spoil, you may discard your on-deck card instead. So I'm going to do that. Discard him. Ah, man, and I still spoiled. Well, that's kind of lame. All right. Okay. Well, nothing to do about that, so I get to flip over my amulet. When you spoil, you get to flip over your amulet as sort of a consolation prize. And once you've flipped over your amulet, it gives you some special ability. So like here, this amulet has the ability, don't know how well you can read that, but it says, look at the top 2 face-down cards of your deck. You may discard any and put the rest back. So we'll hold on to that. And go ahead and prep our next turn. So we're going to bring out, wow, okay. Oops, actually this would just stay there and that would be that. Wow, that's not a great field. Okay, then the Nemesis goes, so he moves up, he claims this card. All right, and now we get to play with this. So we don't have much to play with here. We have basically 4 mana. 4 mana is not terrible. Let's see. All right. Well, you know what? 4 mana is enough to buy this, which will give me 2 mana, and I can add it to this card. So we'll go with that. All right. That'll get replenished. This will come out here. These will go here. The deck gets shuffled. Alright. I already got 2 decay. Alright, and 3 decay. Okay, interesting. And the Nemesis is going to go up and take out this, which is a shame. That's a pretty good card. But yeah, alright, so he got that, and then here we go. Okay, so we've only got, again, 4 mana available to us. So what should we buy with our 4 mana? Well, I'm really thinking probably go with Fertile Soil again. Yeah, let's do that. So we can buy 2 Fertile Soils for 4 mana. We'll go ahead and, you know what? And grab this one. Okay, so we'll put both of these on here. You know what? Let me double check. Like I said, I'm a little rusty on the rules, and it occurs to me, I'm wondering if I can add 2 advancements to the same card. Yeah, okay. Yep, no reason I can't add them both to the same card. Alright, so we're adding 2 Fertile Soils to this card here. So now this card is going to be completely full. It's got top, middle, and bottom. It's going to give me 3 mana whenever it comes up, but it does have 1 decay symbol. So, all in all, not too bad. These get discarded, and we're going to start bringing out some more cards. Okay. Wow, that was another quick turnaround. So, there's our 3 decay symbols right there, and now Nemesis is going to advance, so he's getting rid of, or he's claiming this card. Yeah, alright. Okay, so back to me. What can I do? I can look at the top 2 face-down cards of my deck. I gotta replenish this. I can discard any and put the rest on back. I'm reading this, so I think now would be a good time to do that. Let's go ahead and do that. So I can look at the top 2 cards here. Okay, I can discard this one, and I can put this one back if I want. So I could push to bring this out and flip this over. This is the card I just saw, so I knew that one was going to be safe. And now I'm looking at 5 mana. Do I want to stop at 5 mana? I think I do. Actually, I have 6 mana. Yeah, I have 6 mana. Okay. But I'm going to use 5 mana, and I'm going to use them to buy this card, which lets me cancel all decay symbols on this card. So I'm going to buy this. I'm going to add it to this card here. Alright. And I had 1 mana left, but that's not enough to do anything with. So those get discarded. We prep our next field. Wow. 6. All right. Interesting. I have 10 cards in my field. That's important. I'll explain why in a minute. So now we'd replenish this. The Nemesis advances and claims that card. And another card comes out. Okay. Alright. So, back to my turn. I could push. Interesting thought. I feel like I've already seen. Yeah, I've already seen all of the decay, so there's no reason not to push, right? Does that make sense? How much mana do I have? I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 mana. That's a lot of mana. Well, I should probably look up here and see if there's anything in the 3rd level advancements. I haven't been looking at those really because they've been too expensive for me to worry about. But, okay, so this one would get me a lot of points every time it comes up. That's pretty good. Okay, I think I'll go with this one. I feel like this is, yeah. But before I do that, since I know I can safely push, I'm going to go ahead and push. Okay. Looks good. Alright, so now I'm going to harvest. I'm going to buy this card. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this guy. Why not? And I get this special ability on my totem, which is if you have 10 or more cards in your field, gain 2 points. So I should have 2 points for that. Oh, also, I forgot this. Each time any player spoils, including yourself, gain a point. So I've spoiled once. So I would have that. Okay, so I've got 3 points now. And where can we put these that they will be readily visible? Maybe we'll slide those up and we'll just drop them over here. Okay. Alright. Wow, that was quite a turn. So, now we're going to slide this into our field. We're going to have to shuffle our deck. Go ahead and replenish this. Another thing I should probably start looking at is getting spirit icons. So spirit icons are like, for example, this little sunburst icon right here. That's a spirit icon. And I need those in order to buy these cards up here. So I should probably look at maybe adding some of those to my deck, if possible. Of the cards that are out right now, the Vale cards that I could buy, it looks like a lot of them have the beast spirit symbol, which looks like a little like bear paw on a brown square. So since a lot of them have that, I might look at trying to pick up one of those, although none of those are available on any of these cards right now. So I don't know. Might have to go with what is available rather than there's the most of over here. Anyhow, this guy's going to move up. He's going to claim this card. And we bring out another card there. Alright, and I got to finish building this out. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I gotta decide if I want to push. How much mana do I have right now? I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Well, that's a good amount of mana. If I push, I'll go from 7 to 10. But I don't know that I don't think that's really worth it. Yeah, I think I'll just stop there. I'll go with the 7. Well, but I do have my leader. Yeah, you know what? I'll push once. We'll see how that goes. And once per turn, if you were to spoil, you may discard your on-deck card instead. So do that. Okay. Alright, so I can stop there. That's what we'll do. Stop there. Okay. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 mana. Okay. Well, I think I'll buy this one for 7, because that's a pretty good card. And then I'll buy a Fertile Soil. Let's see, let's grab one of the Fertile Soils that's in the middle of the card. Alright, so I'll do that. So I'll add these to my cards. I'm going to add the Fertile Soil to this one. So now I have fitted that out with 3 mana. And this card that I bought, basically it gives me 2 mana. I mean 1 mana. It gives me 2 points every time I play it, and it's worth 2 points at the end of the game. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on this Fertile Soil here. Alright. So let's replenish that. Let's put out our field for the next turn. There we go. That wasn't too many. Alright, and then we advance this guy, and he claims one of the Vale cards, so he's going to claim this one. Okay, and we'll replenish that. Alright, So let's see, now we're back to looking at this. So we've got 5 mana available to us right now. Oh, this is interesting. This is basically the same effect as my leader. And it adds a like plant spirit symbol. So, it only costs 2. That's not terrible. I like that idea. And then, yeah, and that will cost 2. Alternatively, I could buy this guy, he costs 5 and he's worth points every time he's played. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with this one for 5. Because it would be nice to start getting some more points. Yep, so let's do that. Okay. Building out our field. There we go. And then Nemesis advances, and I discard this one. Or not discard it, but he claims it. It's going to be worth some points for him. Okay. So then back to here. Well, right now I only have 4 mana available to me. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. With 4 mana. You know what? I could just buy a couple of fertile soil with that. Let's do that. Just buy a couple of fertile soil. So we'll get this one. And that one's fine. Yeah. So we'll put this one, we'll put one on here. So we're adding some more mana to it. And we'll put one on here. So it's no longer completely blank. Alright. Discard all those. Guess all these cards should actually be face down. And we prep our field for the next game, for the next turn. Alright. Gonna shuffle these up, see what comes out next. Oh, no, that would just go there. Okay. Alright, and then this goes up here, and he claims that card, and we replenish it. Okay. Alright, so right now we have 3, 4, 5, and you know what? I'm gonna push. It's a bit of a risk, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna push and see what happens. Okay, so far so good. Alright. Alright, so let's go with that. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to spend 5 of those to buy this. And put it right here. Alright, so what I'm doing with this card is I've doubled up on the decay tokens here, which is probably not a good idea most of the time. But this ability right here says cancel all decay tokens on this, or decay symbols on this card. So these are basically irrelevant. This card is just giving me a mana, 3 points, and a sun spirit symbol every time it gets played. So that is nice. Actually, for that matter, I didn't realize that this was here when this came out. It already had that on it. So technically, we should have been like that, and I shouldn't have even had to push, which is fine. We'll just keep it like that. Okay, cool. And when this came out and this came out, that would have gotten me 6 points from here. Need to be sure I don't overlook that. And I've got some spirit symbols, though this spirit symbol was not there. So that's not enough to do anything with. All right, so we do that. We prep our next turn, which is going to look like that. And we advance this guy. He's going to get whatever comes out there. Okay. All right, so when this came out, it got me 3 points. Question is, do I want to push? I currently have 2 mana and that's it. Yeah, let's go ahead and push. So bring this out, flip this over. Okay, so now I have 3 mana. 3 mana is still not enough to do anything significant, so I'm going to push again. Okay, and now we have spoiled, which is okay, because my totem still gives me 1 point for spoiling. And then these just get discarded. And we start over. Like so. Yep. Okay, this guy moves up. He claims this Vale card. And then I gotta decide what to do with these cards. So I have 4 mana here. 5, 6 when you count that. Okay, so I could get either of these cards for 6. This one just gives me a one of these beast spirit icons and a growth icon. A growth icon basically counters a decay icon. That's what that does. And it's worth 1 point at the end of the game. Or I could buy this, which gives me a couple of mana tokens when it's played. It's worth a point at the end of the game, and it has this other ability on it which says, when played, you may discard any other card in your field. They're both pretty good, but I think I have a pretty good engine for getting mana right now, so I'm going to go with this one. That'll get me the growth and the spirit. And we'll have to put that on this card, because it's the only card that has room at the bottom. Right. Okay. There we go. Wow, that's a lot of mana right there. And I forgot to replenish this. And then the Nemesis guy moves up. He's gonna claim this card. Oh, and I forgot he's supposed to get a couple of points. One from the last turn, one from this turn. And I forgot to replenish that as well. Okay. Alright, and now we're back to this. So, let's see. What's next? We have 3, 6, 8. We have a total of 8 mana. So we could perhaps... oh wow, this would be a good one to get right here. Well, if we push, we would definitely have enough to get that. Assuming we don't spoil. So let's try it. We'll push. Aha, and we did not spoil. Okay. Alright, so now we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can buy this one for 10. So this is a good card to get because it gives us a spirit icon. It's worth 2 points at the end of the game. And it has this ability, which is gain 1 point for every 2 cards in your field. So I like that. And we will put it on the bottom of this card. Okay. So that was that turn. Set up our field for the next turn. Okay, and this guy advances 1. He's going to claim this card. Forgot to replenish these. And he's going to get 1 point from the supply there. Okay. Alright, so right now I have 3, 4, 5 mana. Alright, I feel like I should push. I'm going to push. Bring that out, flip this over, cancels all of these. So this card just came up. It's got 2 of these decay symbols, but this ability that cancels them. So I'm going to go ahead and push again. Okay, and when this comes out, I get 3 points from here. Oh, and I forgot to get my 4 points from this card. Wow, we're getting very close to the end of the game. Actually, we just ended the game. Alright, yeah, when this card came out, that ended the game. So, there you go. End of the game. Now, we just got to see what we scored. Wow, we didn't ever buy any of these, which is kind of interesting, although I finally had enough to buy 1. Let me just double check how the end of the game works. See, okay, so when the tokens in the pool run out, finish playing the current round so that each player gets an equal number of turns, then the game ends. Okay, so I would finish my turn. So I got these, so is there anything over here? Basically I got a beast spirit symbol and a sun spirit symbol. So is there anything I can buy with them that would get me some points when it's all said and done? And there is. I could buy this, which is worth 2 points. So I bought Exodus Road, a Vale card worth 2 points at the end of the game. Okay. Is there anything worth spending the mana on? I've got a lot of mana here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 9, 10 from this over here. Wow, 10 mana. Okay, so I mean, any of these has got to be worth some points, right? Yeah. This one's worth 2 points at the end of the game, and it costs 8. So, snag that. Just add it to this card. Alright. And did I get how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 7 cards in my field, so I didn't get the bonus for the 10 or more cards in my field. But that's it. Very good. Alright, so pretty confident that I won that game, but let's just see. 2 points there. 3. This is another 4, so 7. This is 3, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 points from cards. If you're wondering what I'm looking at there, just looking at these symbols here that give you points at the end of the game. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then over here I have 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, another 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So 31 points. Okay. Yep, just making sure I hadn't missed anything in that stack of cards. Alright, so 31 points versus the Nemesis, who had 3 points from tokens. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, and then anything that is in-game points. Let's see. Okay, so this gives you points at the end of the game. He automatically gets 4 for that. So that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So he got 17 points versus my 31. Obviously, that's a win for me. Let's go back up and talk about it a little bit. So that was my first game of Mystic Vale using the Nemesis Expansion. Hopefully you were able to follow what was going on there well enough to get a general sense of how the game is played and how the Nemesis mechanisms work. I would say it was a clear win and a very easy win for me. That's not because I'm an expert at the game, that's because I was using the simplest Nemesis that you can go up against. So I will be looking forward to trying this again against a more challenging Nemesis to see how that works. But I think it has potential. The Nemesis mechanism is simple enough. You know, it's not overly complicated. I think it can be challenging with some of the more powerful Nemesis. So I think it's just a matter of kind of working through them, working my way up through them. And they do a good job of like rating the difficulty of each Nemesis so you can sort of work up through them progressively. So I'm pretty sure I can work through them to a point where I'll find some Nemesis that are actually like a good challenge for me, to where it creates a pretty even game. So there's a lot of expansions for this game. I have quite a few of them, and I haven't played with probably a fraction of the content for this game. So now that I have the Nemesis expansion and I can play it solo, I'm looking forward to getting in some plays of this game and really experiencing some of the variety and the different cards and whatnot that come in the various expansions. So anyhow, fun experience. I hope you enjoyed watching. Again, my name is Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice. Thank you so much for watching, and you enjoy the rest of your day.